morning, traders. Welcome to the TMT Stock Market Strategy video for Friday, September 16th. Well, today is triple witching expiration monthly, so I'm not going to expect a huge move either way. However, last night we had Deutsche Bank come out that the Department of Justice came out with a $14 billion fine for Deutsche Bank, which they rejected. So Deutsche Bank down, futures down right now. So anything could happen. As you know, news does trump the charts. So we have to see how that pans out. Deutsche Bank is actually in big trouble. They're trying to merge with Commerzbank in Germany. They have lack of liquidity, and by rejecting a $14 billion fine, sends signals out that they can't afford the fine. So if that happens, and if Deutsche Bank gets a little bit more in trouble, then you could see some big fallouts in a lot of the other banks and the market to move lower. So keep in mind, there's a lot of big problems out there in Europe. The Italian banks are really in big trouble, as well as some of the big conglomerate banks out there in Germany. So we need to really pay close attention to that, because that could actually just kind of turn the tide of being overly bullish to now really starting to sell your long trades here. Okay, so just really be careful with that. Next is Apple. We talked about yesterday how Apple, this last couple of days of backing and forth with the S&P, more the Nasdaq was driven by Apple. And I got an email, good question also, say, well, how can one stock move the markets? Well, you see, it's not just one stock. Yes, it's one stock as far as the price is concerned, and that'll push the Nasdaq. But also, Apple is weighted heavily in a lot of the other ETFs, such as the Dow Jones. The Dow was up 127 points. Apple was 84 of those points. So you get what I'm trying to. They're heavily weighted in the ETFs, and on top of that, you have their suppliers. So their suppliers as well moving higher, along with Apple stock, can definitely move the index like the Nasdaq. So I think the move yesterday was totally premature. Really didn't do much of anything other than because of Apple and its suppliers. And I'm also hearing a lot through a lot of news wires and stuff that their iPhone, when they said a pre-order. Now T-Mobile is a very small carrier compared to Verizon, and Verizon said that they're tracking at a normal rate. So who knows? Everybody wants euphoria. Apple. I mentioned yesterday, CNBC must have said at least 150 times about Apple. So, it's that whole euphoria. Don't fall into the trap. If you're going to look to buy Apple, that you want to put it away in your portfolio, let it come down to earth. 4 days up 14%. Really is not an area to be buying Apple here. And usually when they announce their orders, or they announce their today, like is their day that you can buy the iPhone 7, the market usually pulls back a little bit. So wait for the volume to subside a little bit before you want to get into Apple. Let it base a little bit. Let it find its true range. Right now, up from I think it's up almost $13 in 4 days. Total craziness. And again, this is what happens when the algorithms get a hold of something. So as fast as it goes up is as fast as it goes down. So just keep that in mind, okay? Next, let's go right into it, guys. We have the VIX. We have volatility here definitely picking up, as you can see. VIX really holding in nicely here. Now, yeah, we are back in today from yesterday's trade. Let's see if it pops back out again. I do see an acceleration and spike in the VIX. I'm not saying it's going to be back up in here, but I think before it subsides, I think you're going to get a few nasty days of selling at one point between now and October, and then that should put some downside pressure in the VIX. But I'm still looking for an increase in volatility. I don't think anything's going to happen today. More than likely, the positions will get squared off. The buys and sells will pair, and then we're going to probably end up pretty much where we open, flat again, unless news comes out even worse than expected with Deutsche Bank. Who knows what could happen? Okay, so but just keep that in mind. Just want to show you the SPX with the ATR here. You see an expansion of volatility, so we're starting to creep up with some volatility, guys. It would not surprise me that we get down to the 2100 right now, or at the very least 2080 is what I'm looking for. 2075, 2080 right now in the SPX cash. That would be the next downside target. Here's a Mcclellan Oscillator. You can see right now, guys, we're just moving back and forth between the Bollinger Band, still showing a neutral state in the market. So in the overall picture, the markets are neutral, but if we tend to move lower, there's plenty of room to run before we get oversold, and same thing with the upside. Okay. Now I want to show you the TLT. And actually, I mentioned a couple of you actually emailed me about looking to get short the TLT, And I just don't like getting short TLT when it had a big move like this from 140 all the way down to 132 in a matter of days. I don't like that. I like to see high probability trading in the sense that I like to see it back, at least fill the gap, try to get to the gap or that 20-day moving average on a daily chart, and then start to roll back down again. Okay, 38% retracement was definitely met. That was our target off of the descending triangle, and I would not suspect that the market would not go down to at least 120, 128, and that would be that 61.8% retracement. Then we would reevaluate it. Okay, next is going to be the GDX. Now gold, I really, really like gold on the longer term picture. I don't think gold is ready to get bought. I do think that you're going to have one or two big flushes in gold, and that's where you can start nibbling in. Here's the gold miners. I'm looking for a bigger flush, probably back down to the zone area, these volume areas here, 22. Now we could lose 22, we'd probably get back into the 18 or 20 area. That's really where I would like to buy gold. And you could see it. This is from where off the February to January lows. We had that big move up, heavy consolidation here. So this is really where I would like to buy it. But we'll see. Again, we got to be patient with gold. If you're day trading it, it's one thing. If you're looking to put it away, I would not look to buy it here. Big descending triangle. I showed that to you yesterday. You could see that our momentum indicators are making lower lows and lower highs. There's absolutely no evidence of support or any evidence of this stock, excuse me, this ETF being bullish here. Descending triangle, lower end of the range. I think she flushes. You got a little thin zone here, right down to the 122. 122.75. Again, that double top measures way back down to that 119, 120 area. That to me, in this big zone, I would look to nibble into the GLD and look to put it away because I do think that eventually this GLD will really start to explode. All right, let's go right into the indexes. To me, this does not look anything good as at all as far as any type of a bullish chart. I think we broke down and we're staying down to these areas here. We have a nice big pennant. You could see that, and we'll see how this unfolds today. I mean, the 38% retracement was hit at 211. Let's call it 212. Just round that right off. But I'm looking for more of a deeper pullback. My biggest spot right now, and I've been mentioning this for months, even when we consolidate, is going to be that 210 area. 210 is going to be the first target off of this consolidation pullback, okay? And then we would reevaluate it. And then, of course, if we lose that, you're going to hit the 200-day moving average. And you can see here, diminishing volume. Now, this is definitely a laggard to the NASDAQ as well as all the other indices. But you can see here, guys, nothing really good about the S&P here at all. If anything, if we start to lose the S&P, we start to lose today. And today, I would discount any type of move in any index or any stock because the market makers are going to be looking for pinning. They're going to look for to defend what they wrote as far as calls and puts. All right, they sold all these calls and puts. They want them to expire worthless, and that's what they're going to do today. That's their job. So just want you to be aware of that. 60-minute. Just want to show you the Pro Trader Premier video of these levels. Our subscribers knew that this was going to be that 212.42, and soon enough, as soon as it hit that, you can look to buy that. And this is a beautiful, beautiful play. And you can see here, guys, that this is something that that you really need to pay attention to. So if you're looking at these numbers and you see where we are here, this is where you can get short, you can take your profits, you can get long. There's a lot of plays here that you can have and really benefit your trading. All right, next is going to be the transports here. Lagging, you can see, really not doing much of anything. Yes, it went back above the 200. We get a couple of closes below the 200. I'm telling you that these hedge fund managers and money managers are going to take note of that. All right, IWM actually did quite well yesterday. Let me just move that out of the way. It did well, but nothing really to write home about. You can see here it's just now back testing our TMT proprietary trading moving average. Now, another thing too, they asked about the TMT trading model. It is on a sell signal right now. So the TMT trading model is on a full-blown sell signal. Okay, remember, this is all Apple induced, guys. All right, this has nothing to do with anything other than Apple and its suppliers and the NASDAQ, and masking a lot of the other indexes. Okay, so yes, we had a lot of volume here. This is a good sign, but if anything, we'll probably challenge the highs here, if not go higher. But we'll see how Apple's debut ends up, and with the numbers next week. If that starts to subside, you're going to see the Nasdaq roll over. If we get some selling pressure today, based on the Deutsche Bank. All right, guys. Have a great day. Enjoy the weekend, and we shall see you tomorrow on Monday. Excuse me.